All right, good morning. Welcome in for another Friday Safety Focus of the Week. Today is Friday, July 22nd. This coming week's code of conduct is to maintain respectful behavior whenever one is working, driving a company vehicle, or wearing the company logo. You are always representing this company. It's a really good code item to remind ourselves to also kind of hold each other accountable when we see things that aren't quite in line with this code item, just to remind each other if it's speed on the interstate or if it's merging on Williston Road, whatever it may be, just always, hey, remember this code item. We're all representing the company and we're all in this together. Anything to add to that code item, Ken?
No, I think we just kind of do the right thing all the time and be courteous on the road and smile instead of expressing yourself differently.
That's a good point. So another 7 days without a recordable injury. We've had a really good week so far with incidents. So let's keep up that good best practices of starting your day with a JHA. Again, contact health and safety if you have any questions or concerns. We are seeing, again, a lot of uptick with new DigSafe tickets not being complete by USIC. So if there are issues, please contact health and safety so we can try to help remedy and also get assistance on the way to help get those tickets fulfilled, and also to help try to maintain your marks on the existing jobs that have been marked out. The remarks, from what I'm hearing, is it's kind of slowing down the process for the new tickets. So whatever we can do to help out on our existing jobs that have already been marked out, to really try to keep the paint fresh or put offsets in with stakes. Again, in the tool crib, we have all the paint colors that you need to keep all of our existing marks fresh on our projects. With that said, we got a guest speaker. Amy's back with us with PTC 360. We're going to get into some ergonomics, especially with operating equipment. So we're excited to have Amy this morning. So Amy, take it away.
Good morning. I'll share my screen here. All right, so we're going to talk about operator posture this morning. We have talked about in the past sitting posture and driving posture. So today I wanted to address operator posture. I tried to do a little research on what kind of equipment you guys are in and girls are in, and to see, what the ergonomics look like. Looking at pictures of older machines compared to newer machines, it looks like they're really trying to change the ergonomics, but they're still highly variable. There's lots of different things going on in these machines. So hopefully I'll give each of you an idea of what you might be able to address or change in the machine that you're working in, but it's not going to be a one size fits all here because everything's so different. I was looking at these different vehicles and you've got like joysticks, you've got steering wheels, you've got data screens, you have some that have a lot of stuff in front of it, a lot of stuff behind it. So your neck and back are all going to be in different positions, arms in different positions. So in order to try to reduce the risk of an injury, each setup here is going to be very individualized. So posture and musculoskeletal pain are very closely related, unfortunately. There's lots of studies in your field that start to look at this. I found one study that looks at overhead crane operators. Not something I think you guys do a ton, but it was an interesting study because it really found that they have an increased risk for musculoskeletal pain compared to other people that sit, particularly because of their head and neck angle, because they're always looking up and out or up and down. So that's a posture in particular where your head's really held at different angle than the upright angle that can really increase the risk of neck and back pain. Another study showed excavator operators have an increased risk of whole body vibrations and injuries due to that because of the vibrations in that machinery. So what we're trying to look at when we're thinking about musculoskeletal pain in your posture is what can we do to reduce those risks? Biggest thing is address the independent variables. Are those variables that can't be changed? You're going to see on here some that can't be changed. Our age, unfortunately, we can't change. Old injuries, we can't change. But what on here can we change? we could change the prolonged sitting by getting up. We could change vibrations by maybe changing some seat cushions. Can we change pre-existing health conditions? That's a whole nother talk altogether, but to some degree, maybe. Can we address the repetitive stress? Potentially, biggest thing is changing those awkward positions of our body. So where is our trunk, our head, our neck, our arms, our legs? These are little adjustments. Those are the independent variables that we can change to hopefully make a big difference. So first thing is the seat. That's what you're getting into. This is where you want to start. And we actually want to start at our pelvis. So if you're sitting in your chair right now and you tip your pelvis forward and then tuck your pelvis under, feel how everything goes with it. So if you tip your pelvis down, your legs go forward. Your legs go out farther. Your chest goes forward. Your head goes forward. When you tuck it under, you start to look down. You round your back. Your feet come back towards you. So that actually changes your whole posture just by your pelvic position. So that's where we want to start. We want to start on what we consider a neutral spine. So if you look at your spine, you have a curve at your neck. You round out at
Anyone else lose her?
Did you lose me?
Yep, we did.
Are you back? Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Did you hear about the pelvis?
We did. You were kind of describing neutral position with the neck, and yeah, kind of like this.
Okay. All right. So I'll continue with that then. Thank you. So you want that neutral position of your pelvis. So there's a little arch in your back. You don't want to be too rounded or too far forward. So that's going to be your starting position. Next thing is thinking of spinal elongation. So sitting up nice and tall, bringing that tip to tail, top to bottom can be really helpful versus that slouch position. So if you find yourself here, thinking of being upright. And one of the easy ones, taking breaks. That's one of those big elements that we can change. So a starting point here for posture, this is an adaptation more for car and driving posture. A lot of the elements are similar to operators. You might find some are very different. So one of the big things is that angle at your leg is going to be very different because most of you guys tend to be more upright. You're not in this low bucket type seat position, but a lot of these other angles still are appropriate. So pick and choose what may work for you. That reclined seat back, that can be really helpful if that's possible for you to reduce stresses on your back. The chair height, you want the hips as high with the knees, if possible. Again, if that's an adjustment that you can make, that can be really helpful. You definitely don't want your knees lower than your hips in any of the positions. The chair depth, another thing that can be helpful to reduce some stress at the back of the legs. Being able to put a fist between the back of the end of the seat and the back of your knee can be really helpful. Again, sometimes if you're sitting for a long time, you get that pressure behind there, and then that changes your position. You want to tilt forward, a shift side to side, and that changes the trunk and neck position. Again, knees bent at 20 to 30 degrees, that might be less appropriate for this group. But again, depends on your vehicle. And the elbow angle, having that slight bend at the elbow versus having it locked out. Having it locked out can cause some neural pain, some muscle tightness. It also pulls the shoulder forward. So having that little bend at the elbow helps to keep our shoulders in good position, which also can help keep our neck in good position. Some of the details that I touched upon a little bit, a seat cushion really important for some of the vibrations. Lumbar support to fill the gap in the back, if there is one. Adjusting your feet to make sure they're resting on the floor, or the heels are resting on the floor, and that you're at a good angle there. Talk about the arms extended. And if you have the opportunity to rest your head on a headrest, that's just a really good reminder to keep your head upright. It's not a necessity, but it keeps you from going into that forward position. Next variable that we can address outside of our posture is taking breaks. So taking breaks as often as permitted by your job and responsibilities. I don't want to get a call from Matt and Ken saying everyone's taking a break a little too often because Amy said so. So based on what you're allowed to do, but you guys and girls are all working very long hours these days. It's a summer, it's your busy season. So make sure to take those breaks. A minute or two can actually go a long way. And on that, using your break time wisely, making sure you're not just sitting in your piece of equipment and texting and making phone calls and checking your email. Get out, move, stretch, walk. Those are really important, even if it is for 30 seconds or a minute. That can really help to give you both a mental break and a physical break from what you're doing. And that can help prolong, kind of in a way, your body's career in this field. Last thing that we can change, and this isn't necessarily a postural component, but this is an injury component that we tend to see, is pause first. So when you get out of your vehicle, get out of your piece of machinery, don't just jump right out. A couple of reasons for that. One, you don't know what you're jumping into, and we tend to see ankle sprains and knee injuries from that. So take a look at what you're doing. The second is that quick, unexpected change in blood pressure. If you've been sitting for a long time, you get up quickly and then go do a quick movement, you can have that drop in blood pressure. And with that, you could feel faint, particularly you're at risk for this in these hot days right now. So pause first before getting out of that vehicle. That can also be really helpful to reducing more of an acute injury. So take home messages here. Every body is different. There's no one best position or posture. So use this as a starting point. Pick one or two things here that might be appropriate for you, and try applying that to your setup. Take breaks and move, really important, and then pause first before getting out of your vehicle or equipment. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sounds
Amy.
good.
Very informative as always. We really appreciate your time this morning.
You're welcome.
And if anyone out there has any questions further of this with their equipment, please contact us and we can maybe even get Amy out one of our job sites and she could take a look at our setup.
Would love to. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Amy. Take care.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll take over the screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
We got it, but you might need to update your photos or allow
Oh,
your
yes.
photos.
Yep, got it. Download photos. Okay, now stretch it back out a bit. Okay, is that good?
That's perfect.
Okay. Announcements, we just had the same announcement from last week. That's the 401k education meeting, which is a plan with the meeting with the plan advisor Morgan Stanley. So make sure if you need to meet with them to sign up. If you're a new participant, you definitely should sign up. Otherwise, you'll just get assigned some basic, investment plan setup. So you want to make sure something's tailored to yourself, your age, the number of years you got left in your working career to put money into your 401k for retirement. We have one new employee here. It's Kurt Hansberry. So Kurt is apparently a mountain biker, it looks like. He likes to social distance in the woods on his bicycle, it seems like from his shirt. So welcome aboard, Kurt. And then next we just have the highlights of the this event that that we participated in as a company, the classic Mike Lawyer golf tournament. And this is a picture at the beginning of the event, and everyone threw a golf ball out to see who could get closest to the hole in one at the 18th hole, I guess it is, here at Rocky Ridge. And you can see everybody's there. There were, full number of teams, lots of volunteers. And so a little about the Mike Lawyer Classic. Mike, his brother Tom, was tragically killed in a construction accident back in 2011. The Classic Mike Lawyer Foundation was established in Mike's memory. I know I changed that. That was somehow I didn't say it, but it should have been Mike's memory with the following mission statement. In keeping with Mike's spirit of giving, the mission of the Classic Mike Lawyer Foundation is to support Vermont families coping with accidental worksite death of a loved one and to support unique needs within the community. The golf tournament is their biggest fundraiser. And ECI participated with a golf team consisted of Sten Holm, Marty Rabtoy, Scott Pigeon, and Ken Pigeon. Sarah Wallen is on the foundation board of directors and volunteers at the event, and Tom is the chair of the foundation, the main organizer. So this was a picture of Mike Lawyer, and he was finishing up a casing installation here. And so you see, very much like us, used to like to play in the mud. And here's the team with Tom and Sarah. And then I have a picture of us out on the course. To me, it looks like from this picture that Scotty's the only one who found his ball. These other guys are tromping off to find their balls in the woods. We had a pretty good game. I think we were 2 under, and I don't know what the winner was, but we weren't too close to the winning team, I should say.
Off the pace by a couple, Ken.
What's that, Tom?
I'd say you were off the pace by a couple.
Oh, okay.
11
So-
under, I think, won the tournament. So
Wow, nice. Anything else to add, Tom?
yeah, actually, for starters, just a thank you to ECI as a corporation for everything that you've done for the foundation since day one. Literally, a nice card in the mail 2 days after Mike's passing, just everything. You guys have been there for us since the beginning, and I can't thank you enough for that. It's always great to see the ECI team out there at the golf tournament. And actually, I think as competitive as this is, ECI does have their name on one of the year. I think 5th year they won the tournament. So that was great to see. As Ken mentioned, it's been 11 years now since Mike's passing. We hold this tournament every year on the date of his passing, which is kind of cool. Sometimes it's a Sunday or a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever, but it's always got a pretty solid focus on just having fun, and that's kind of Mike's way for sure. So it's more of a social outing than a golf tournament. It's a huge crowd. I think we had near 50 volunteers this year, and it was just, again, it was great to see the ECI team out there. Real quickly on the mission statement, simply put, we have a 2-part mission statement. The first is to assist families who lose loved ones in worksite accidents, which we've done too many times. And then the second is to assist unique causes within the communities. And that's where, this call to you, all of you, to help there is very real. Just, if you see someone or hear of somebody in need, please get to me, get to Sarah, get to any of our board members. We're very responsive. Sometimes we respond the same day. I think we've assisted the community now in excess of, I think, $400,000. But we've got a lot more work to do, and we need your help doing that. So, and lastly, just thank all of my coworkers. Thank all of you personally, because I know you seem to be there every time there's a need or a request. Rarely do we get anything than full all-out help from everybody. So thanks very much. I appreciate it. And Ken, thanks for the opportunity to talk this morning.
Hey, you're welcome, Tom, and thank you for doing this. It certainly extends well beyond the construction community now, and we're proud to have to be involved with your foundation, and look forward to continuing, obviously, but also the company has been a big supporter every end of year for the charity giving, and that's selected by the employees, not by myself, not by Tom, but by the employees' desire to support this great cause.
Thank you all for that, for sure.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to go on to the next part of the program. We got the primary health care wellness program here, and there's a link. So make sure you get involved and enrolled if you're not already. The weather, it's going to be hot and humid again today and through the weekend. The temperatures are supposed to improve starting next week. So back into the lower 80s. But be careful out there. So over this week, we are highlighting for project the Vermont Day School Foundation repairs in Shelburne. And we're contracted with Lake Point property management to install a micropile supported foundation for an older existing addition off the back of their building. The Vermont Day School is a private K-8 school next to Vermont Teddy Bear in Shelburne. The school recently constructed a very nice addition onto the older building. The section of building that we repaired is essentially an old porch supported on a masonry block wall, also built on a mortared rubble stone pad, and the porch is located off the back of the building. The subsurface conditions appear to be fill over a swampy area, so that was kind of a clue as to what might be going on there for the problems and settlements they've seen. And the micropiles consisted of 40-20 hollow bar drilled to apparent bedrock at a depth about 34 feet below the bottom of the footing. Access to the site was also a challenge because the newer building kind of closed off the back area quite a bit, and it was close to a steep bank immediately south of the porch. And our 75 excavator with the TEI drill barely fit through, especially around the corner. You'll see in the pictures in a minute. Concrete in the footing was hauled in with a skid steer, and the wall concrete was pumped with our swing ground pump. And the building was temporarily supported on jacks while we demolished the existing foundation walls, which obviously wasn't that challenging because they're all masonry blocks and it wasn't a very well built foundation. We added a new sill plate and placed lally columns from the newly placed footing so we could remove our jacks, and then the lally columns were left embedded in the wall. Oops. So this is the new addition built just not too many years ago. You probably might have noticed the work if you pass by there frequently. Our work was behind the main original building, so the core building there, we're directly behind that. And here it is. There was a deck in the back there that had to be stripped off by our client. Took it out the property management company and left it for us to do our work. And you can see the masonry block wall and it's kind of an older building, not the best shape in the back there. So they need to get it kind of brought up to the standard they have there, which is pretty good. And you see we're working under there. The excavator got around the corner, but it's that next corner that was a real challenging one. So here we are where the deck was, getting a first pile in the corner. And you can see from the clearance there to the gutter, not very good. And drilling in the pile. There's some of the completed hollow bar with bearing plates set up for the footing. And pouring the concrete around that tough corner there. Not pouring, placing them by hand from the skid steer. And there's the more accessible side, but and we had to step the footings up, get around the corner. Footings done. The lally columns are installed. The jacks were underneath in the framing. See, there's the jacks after they were removed. New sill plate. And some of the finished concrete wall was insulated underneath to prevent frost heaving. And the Lake Point also re-insulated under the floor because it's a suspended floor, and there's no insulation on the crawl space area. You can see there's the access door that we left for them to frame a door out for the access underneath. And that's what I got for that project. And this archive photo is from back in 2012. This is the Route 7 widening, which was just a little bit down the road. You see the Fiddlehead restaurant and brewery sign across the road. and we widened out that area throughout that area. I think it was related to that, that little industrial park right there. So that's what I got. I'll turn it back to you, Matt. And thanks to Amy. Thanks, Tom. And everyone have a safe day out there. Be cautious of the hot weather, and have a good weekend.
Thanks, Ken. I've already seen a couple messages come in for attendance, so please, if you haven't, please just send over if you're watching a group setting so we can capture today's attendance, and let's have a safe day. Bye.
Sounds good. Catch you guys later.